So within moments of publishing my last video, I looked at what I had going on here, and yeah, for one, of course, I aimed this dark patch right into the almost exact corner of the painting. It's just a bad idea, and it was too heavy, too weighty. I didn't like it. You know, I know that I said I wanted to oppose this with this to help support it, to punch back up. I think we're going to just do that another way, and it's going to have to do with values and where I lay specific strokes of color. So I think actually that I'm ready to grab a brush and start poking into these edges. Well, I'm going to start painting on this. I decided to use the brush. The painting will be, there's a little too much detail that I want to show in here to use the knife. I've washed it in fairly accurately, so I think I'm just going to continue with the brush. It's still quite flat. You know, as the end, there's, you know, there isn't a lot of texture because I've thinned my paint off with turpentine. But I've been using less and less paint thinner as my sort of, as the development of the painting goes on. So it's almost getting to the point now where I wouldn't even, from a workmanship standpoint, need to paint over the entire painting, because there's enough matrix of the original paint there that I could varnish it and it would be okay. The painting isn't quite good enough, so I'm going to paint over it. Okay, here we go. USA Patriot, you left a comment a little while ago mentioning that you'd like to see me mixing some paint on my palette. I guess I haven't shown that with a brush too much. I did a video a little while ago called Mother Color Short. That's done with a brush, where I actually put the few colors that I was going to use on the actual painting surface and did a painting from there. So that shows it a little bit. There's another video called Mixing Oil Colors, in which I use a knife. And third video just about my palette. It's just called Palette Visit rather. So I thought I'd address your comment in this painting. Oh yeah, I made a note here. It's been commented a couple times that I use my hand gestures a lot, and yeah, I guess I just kind of talk that way. But then I'm a visual person, so my hands are always jumping around. And yeah, from some feedback, it sounds like it can even be helpful. So I think that was Kathy who last mentioned that. So thanks, Kathy. All right, so this painting is more or less going to be a gray painting. Now, I'm only going to put a few strokes in, is just for the sake of this video. And I'm just going to use very few colors to start with. Titanium white, of course. I'm starting in the brightest area of the painting. I don't have two cameras, and I'm not going to split a screen. I'm not going to do all that. Right now, we're just going to focus on this. I'll just do a short one. After that, I'll back the camera up and we'll get a good view of the painting as it progresses. So, I never ever play all my cards until the very end of the painting. Something I referred to as step 6. That's where I lay in my highest highlights. You know, maybe my darkest darks if need be. So it's never, you know, those most intense brush strokes never go on at the beginning of my painting. So there we go. Titanium white, touch of yellow ochre, tiny bit of raw umber. You know, almost every brush stroke in this painting is going to have a little bit of raw umber in it. I'm still going to add terps to this. Or paint thinner rather. Taking the edge off that white. That's a little too brown. Right now, I'm just going to use, raw umber, yellow ochre, titanium white, maybe a hint of cobalt blue. Maybe even touch the alizarin crimson. But I'm not going to paint too far into it because that's going to bore you to death if all you're seeing is me playing on the palette. But of course, if I'm going to play on the palette, out of frame, I'm actually laying some paint on. Okay, what do we have? A little more raw umber, a little more yellow ochre. Don't forget a bit of paint thinner in there. I'm not going. I'm not trying to be impasto or work. That's not the technique I'm after. So I have to remember to keep my brush reasonably dry and let the tooth of the canvas pick it up. Pick that paint up and play a little bit. Okay. A little more here, raw umber here, and now I'm going to touch. Nope, I shouldn't have done that. I should have touched my alizarin crimson. Oh boy, and just a small amount of that sure makes things stronger. I'm using circular brush strokes, sort of working around the sun or moon. Nah, I think it's going to be the sun. Okay, that's too red. I'm playing now a hint of blue. Okay, see, right away I want to start painting and painting, and I get carried away. This little portion is supposed to be about the brushwork. This is a number 8 brush I'm using right now, number 8 flat. It doesn't matter what style of brush I use or anything. When I'm mixing my paint on my palette, I'm going back and forth like that, and I'm folding the brush, rolling it. Even if it's a round brush, that's what I do. I roll it. Try to work. See, I'm starting up here and I'm working my way down, going side to side sometimes, rolling it sometimes, combined with side to side. But I'm working my way in this direction. If I were to take my brush and do this in a circular motion from here to here, I am pushing, I'm forcing paint into the bristles. So after you've been doing this for a while, say an hour session of painting or a half hour, you're forcing paint up into your bristles, right to the base of them. And it makes the brush much more difficult to clean out later. It'll cause your bristles to splay. It'll shorten the life of your brush tremendously, and it will lose its shape. So I try to avoid that. I mean, you know what? It may never happen that I actually do that. I think I almost always do that. It's a habit that's the habit I've used for, what is it now, 26 years? 26 years as a professional artist, in addition to playing around before that. So, I guess that's really all I can explain to you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Now I'm just going to back the camera up and show you what's actually going on. So I laid in some color just, you know, around the sun and around, in you know, in the sun. And they look so much brighter than what I've washed out for the rest of the painting. It's going to become quite a bit more intense. And it's already redder than I want it to be. And maybe I should not have laid paint on the painting until I was thinking only about the painting rather than dividing my attention between the palette and the painting. Anyway, that's just a few strokes. That's where the painting sits. Just wanted to give you that bit. Next, I will actually get into the painting the sky, and I'll take you with me for that one. Okay, thanks for watching. See you later.